Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now on our board here, we have our discussion for this video, and it is this: hidden secrets. Your eyes, you see nothing with your eyes. Hidden secrets. You see nothing with your eyes. And here is our discussion for today. Now that's an unusual statement because in the illusion, in the egoic world, we are always saying, well, my eyes see the whiteboard, whatever we're looking at. And here's the point. Whatever you're looking at has some significance, but it is not what you think it is. So let's follow along here and get a little deeper into this understanding. Let's start with number one. What if I was to tell you the world around you is completely formless and colorless until you look at it? Would say, well, of course it is, because you might not say, of course it is, but you say, well, when I see it, then it's the world. When you're not looking at it, what is it? Think about that. Photons of light are not particles of tiny balls of matter. They're not tiny little balls of matter. As a matter of fact, there are no tiny little balls of matter anywhere. Photons are raw, chaotic, quantum data packets. And that's all. They're neutral. Photons are neutral information. They're not good. They're not bad. It's just information. The eyes can tell you nothing. The eyes can tell you nothing. They have no tongue, they have no brain, they have no facility for talking to you directly. Scientific fact. You can check it out on Google search. The eyes tell you nothing. Now, before we go on, and relating to this subject, I want to talk about two of the first lessons in the Course in Miracles. And then because they fit right into this discussion. And so here is the first lesson in the Course. And it is this: nothing I see in this room means anything. Nothing I see on this street, from this window, in this place, means anything. Oh, let's think about that a minute. Nothing you see means anything. Why? Well, it's raw data. It's just raw, chaotic data packages without meaning. Now here's the second lesson, which goes right along with it. The second lesson: I have given everything I see in this room all the meaning it has for me. I have given everything in this room all the meaning it has for me. These two dovetail against each other. Because initially you get information, it means nothing. And then through an inside process that we'll be talking about, you put meaning on it. You. The meaning does not come from the outside objects in your world, in your life. For instance, right now, if you look around your wherever you're at and you find something, you say, oh, this is significance. Whether it's a glass of water or a picture of a loved one or anything that you think has some significance. And here's the thing. The thing has no significance until you put it on it. It doesn't matter if it's a picture of a loved one, a locket your grandmother gave you, or anything. The value of what you think is outside does not come from the object. A gold coin is meaningless until you put the meaning on it. Everything is the same way. The picture of your loved one that has meaning for you don't mean anything to me. So I want you to get the idea that the meaning is not in the object, the meaning is in you that you put on the object. Now let's go take a look at a model that will look at this more clearly and maybe give you some insight right now. And this is our model for today. And I'm going to draw your attention to the center of the model and expand that a little bit because this is important. In this model, you have your body. And you notice there is, where the eye is, there's a little X and a line leaving it. And we'll talk about that in a moment. So we have the body, which is a classical form, and then we have the mind, which is in a quantum state. And so these are, because the body is the transition between classical and quantum, the quantum mind and the body are entangled, quantumly entangled into one system. And now, in that entanglement, it is one system, which basically says in the body, the mind is aware because the mind is quantum and the classic is a transition between the two. Now let's us expand this again and look at that little line leaving the eye, going over here. Here is the eyeball. I pulled the eyeball out of the eye to give us a better insight into what is going on with the eye, because you see nothing with the eye. The eye's function is to transmit information. And that's the same function all your senses have. Your senses can tell you nothing. They just collect information and convert that information into electrical signals and send it to the mind. Now let's look at this. The optic nerve. Here's the eyeball. See the eyelashes? You got to use your imagination. The eyelashes and the optic nerve. Now, going down the optic nerve are cars and bikes and dogs and anything you can think of. No, nothing goes down the optic nerve but information, electrical data. It's just signals. It's coded information. There's no cars going here down the optic nerve. There's no bicycles. There's no dogs. There's no houses. There's no trees. There's no me going down the optic nerve. It's just signals. It's just raw data, meaningless raw data. Exactly what the Course in Miracles says. You see nothing with the eye. You see nothing. You see no cars. You see no trees. You see no bicycles. You see no dogs. You see nothing with the eye. It just transmits data. The data goes to the mind-body. The mind-body is one system. The quantum mind holds the information in a quantum state. There is nothing outside of you but meaningless, formless, colorless data that the eye picks up. And so everything that you think of as an object is your inside creation. It's not outside. Now, I had an idea that maybe might help, and I'm not sure how to explain it 100%, but we'll do the best we can. I'll try to get a little video that shows this. Now, see, I have a little light, a damn little light. It's not much of a light, but if the room was black, I'm not going to turn it off. I got too many lights going on. And the room was black. You can think about it in your garage at night when the lights are out from a storm or something. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You have a flashlight. And the flashlight looks around in the vacant garage or your basement or wherever you're at. And when the light hits something, it reflects information back through the eye. And then you interpret that information through the mind, through your past experiences and belief systems and all of that we talked about in the past. But the light itself in the dark room is only picking up a little bit of the information at any particular time. Now, when you're not in that beam of light, what's the area around you? Meaningless. It's just meaningless until you take the light, your eyeball, and you point it at it and get information and interpret that information through your quantum mind as quantum information. And in that quantum state also is your meaning of the information. The meaning does not come from the object or what you're what you're seeing. Just like in lesson 2 in the course, you put the meaning on everything in your life. The meaning does not come from the object that you are observing outside through your eyeballs. It's meaningless. The only meaning there is what you put on it based on your interpretation of the information. Nothing in your life has any meaning. Nothing. Until you put it on. And the meaning you put on any particular object in your life, I'm not going to have the same meaning for it. First, I don't know most of you. And so if you got a picture of a loved one, or you got a child, or you got something else, good for you. Don't mean nothing to me. Get this point. The meaning does not come from the object. It comes from your unique interpretation of that particular information. And when you're not looking at it with your light, it's meaningless data. It's just energy. It's quantum nothingness. So, what else can we look at here? In the optic nerve, you have coded information, electrical signals, data, information, meaningless information, until over here you interpret the information. The meaning does not come from the data, because my meaning is going to be different from your meaning. Why? We don't have the same process, the same belief system, the same life experiences. So I might see, you say, oh, I see a cow. Okay, I see a cow. But the meaning of it, the meaning comes from the quantum world, not from the classical. Classical world says it's a brown cow, it's so high, it's so wide, and makes so many gallons of milk a day in measurements, but the meaning of that comes from the quantum world, not from the classical. Oh. You notice over here, you might not have noticed, I put consciousness. Consciousness is everything. Consciousness is all there is. Consciousness is trying to find out who it is through you and me and the egoic world. And when consciousness finds out who it is, it will be you and it will be me. And in this room, in this place, with only one meaning, there'll only be one person. Give that some thought. Outside of you is just chaotic quantum fields of meaningless information, until not only your eyeball, but all your senses bring information into the quantum mind through the body, and you interpret it for you. And when you interpret it for you, it's uploaded. into consciousness. And consciousness understands itself more fully through you. Now, a lot of people say, and I mentioned this before, well, if consciousness knows everything, if it's infinite, it knows all this. No, it doesn't. Because each moment is a new universe that never has been before. And that's the exciting part. Each moment has never been before. And knowing that, and knowing that it is your interpretation, you can change your world. Manifesting shows up in many different ways. Everything in your life is a manifestation that you have made. And when you begin to understand that, you change your life. Oh, there's much to talk about here in the illusion. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Now, you're not going to see me because you're not going to see anything with your eyes. Oh, and that's another thing. You never see me. You only see your interpretation of me, which is never me. Be good to yourself. And we'll see you next time, right here in the illusion. As always, bye now.